My name is Sydney Buttram, and my topic is Parent-Mediated Intervention, or sometimes called Parent-Implemented Intervention. I found an article titled The Power of Parents and thought it was very interesting. This quote stuck out to me. Parent-implemented intervention provides a child with the most possible opportunities to learn since they are learning during their everyday life, each and every day. And because they are learning new things at home with the people closest to them, learning becomes natural, motivating, and fun. When parents and speech language pathologists team up and collaborate in this way, it ensures that a child with autism spectrum disorders learns from the best possible teachers, their parents. This article's focus was you, as parents, are your child's best teacher. Communicative interactions with parents have a great impact on children's language development. Young children often spend more time with parents. Parent mediated interventions are often used to increase the child's access to successful communication interventions. And parents often desire skills and strategies they can carry out with their children throughout daily routines and activities. Parents also interact with children in many more settings than professionals, such as at home, at a restaurant, at the grocery store, or even at the park. While speech language pathologists try to observe and treat a client in their natural environment, sometimes it is not possible for professionals to interact with the child in all situations throughout their day. Who can use parent mediated interventions? While parent is in the title, many individuals may use this intervention, such as early interventionists, early childhood special educators, elementary school educators, related service providers, such as speech language pathologists, occupational therapists, and physical therapists, paraprofessionals, and parents. While researching parent mediated interventions, I found that there is the most research for this intervention for children ages 6 to 11. Research supports this intervention for children with autism spectrum disorders and complex communication needs. There is a benefit with parents teaching others who interact with the child to use these strategies, and this intervention was found to improve family functioning. There are 4 steps when implementing parent mediated intervention. They include number 1, identifying a target outcome and collecting data on current performance. Number 2, developing an individualized intervention. Number 3, teaching the parent to implement the intervention. And number 4, monitoring progress and making modifications. So, number 1, identifying the target outcome and collecting data on current performance. The speech language pathologist should consider the parent's current priorities for the child's educational goals. Parents appear to be motivated and implement the intervention if the goals are priorities for them. So, family centered planning is key. So, for example, Stella has trouble requesting, and her mother indicated she would like Stella to tell her what she wants to eat. The clinician then determined a measurable and observable goal. So the goal may be Stella will independently request 3 or more different preferred foods during snack time over 3 consecutive observations. The speech language pathologist determined that an independent request can be defined as choosing a picture card from a selection of 4 within arm's reach and handing it up to her mother, up to 5 feet away without assistance. The next one is developing an individualized intervention. The speech language pathologist should consider the research supporting the intervention, the parent preference, and the strengths and limitations to implementing in the child's environment. So, for example, the speech language pathologist may look at prompting procedures such as modeling and time delay. Is providing the correct model or target through everyday conversation using clear speech, and time delay involves gradually fading out the use of prompts. The speech language pathologist may also look at reinforcement and functional communication training. Functional communication training has a goal to use more appropriate communication. So, teaching the parent to implement the intervention. The speech language pathologist should provide written and verbal instructions, so spoken and written instructions, modeling, coaching and performance feedback, and goal setting and planning. The speech language pathologist may include role playing when teaching the parent to implement the intervention, and monitoring progress and making modifications. To keep track of attempts in one place, parents may use a logbook. Here is an example of a logbook on the left relating to Stella's previous goal. The clinician should continue to monitor the child's performance and the parents carrying it out. If no progress is being made towards the goal, the clinician should consider changing the intervention. And once a skill has been mastered, the clinician and parent will determine the next target. Here is an example of a parent instruction sheet. The client is Sam. The purpose is to increase Sam's ability to communicate his wants and needs. The outcome is Sam will independently request, using a one-word request, 3 or more times during 5 minutes of play in 2 consecutive visits. The routine is playtime with dad, and the materials needed are preferred activities or toys. As you can see, there are 5 steps, and at the bottom it says, don't forget, this procedure will only work if Sam is interested in playing with the items or activities. Also, if Sam consistently does not communicate during these sessions, the parent should talk to the coach or the speech language pathologist about this progress. So, to use this at home, a parent would continue with their daily routines and activities, but add the strategies from the speech language pathologist to use during these daily activities. So, such as in this example of playtime with dad. In this example, the child will continue to play with the dad like usual, but the parent will follow these few tips, such as saying the word the child is pointing to, waiting for a certain amount of time, or repeating and expanding on what the child says. The parent will also write down notes about how it went to keep up with progress, which can be done in a logbook. So, for my take home, I included a checklist and a planning guide for parent mediated intervention. The checklist will likely be used by speech language pathologists, and the planning worksheet will be used by speech language pathologists and parents. The checklist serves as a guide to show what should be completed before starting the intervention, and the planning worksheet includes many areas such as strengths, areas of need, potential barriers, and potential solutions. Here is an example of the planning worksheet filled out for reference. An example of strengths includes enjoy time together during singing, meals, and swinging. This is important for the speech language pathologist to know because the speech language pathologist will likely use strengths in the intervention. And here are my references.